The difference between people's judgment and God's judgment. In Matthew 5:22, Jesus says, "But I tell you that anyone who is angry with his brother will be subject to judgment. Again, anyone who says to his brother Raka is answerable to the Sanhedrin. But anyone who says you fool will be in danger of the fire of hell." These are words of men, judgments of men, and how we are instructed to speak is like that. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. So, always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. And this is very, very important. This is towards our words towards others. And there is another thing when we speak our words into the atmosphere. In Job 22:28, what you decide on will be done, and light will shine on your ways. In another translation, it says that you will decree a word, a thing, and it will be established for you. So what you decree, it will be established. But it's like decreeing something that God already said, decreeing His will, discerning and decreeing His will. And what happens with when you decree the word of God is that it releases, I read this somewhere, it releases creativity, God's salvation, and His judgments on your case. So if you have any kind of unsolved problem, the word of God spoken, declared, given as a decree, will release what you need in the proper time for your case. Creativity, because God has a lot, like all the resources, and He has an overview over the situation, and He's creative. And I'm sure you remember when you were taken by surprise by God, like, I didn't thought of that. So when you think of solutions and you see God's solution for that problem, you may be pretty amazed, because it might be something that you didn't thought of. His salvation, that somehow the word works, because the word is not coming out empty. God will perform His word. And His judgment, that means, like that verse where it says that when you do good to someone who did you evil, is like you put burning coals over his head. Like, kind of like you are rushing the judgment of God, like and always when God does His deliverance, when He delivers you, He does more than you expected, and in a bigger way. Look at the Israelis. The Egyptians were coming after them, and they went actually through the Red Sea, because God used Moses' staff to split the sea into, and to make the Israelis go on dry land towards the wilderness to worship God. So nobody expected this, and also nobody expected that the Egyptians would die there on that dry land in the sea because the sea came over them and they died. So that's amazing. We never know how God works, but He does.